Do you want to learn how to win sweepstakes contests and giveaways? Well, my name's Carolyn and I'm known as the Contest Queen, and I have been AOL for a while. And where have I been? I got back last weekend from the Annual National Sweepstakes Convention in Scottsdale, Arizona. But because I had been traveling over the previous few weeks, I have to tell you about the cruise that I manifested for free. I didn't win it, but there's a story behind that. Then I came home, had 1,000 things to do in 5 days. So I basically didn't repack. I just opened a different suitcase because I was taking more stuff, lots of prizes. And then when I got home, I promptly got sick. So I think my body was like, I'm tired. And so, but it was a lot of fun. I have finally finished blogging all 4 days of the convention. So if you go to contestqueen.com, you can read about all the fun things that happened. I also put an album on Facebook, which I still haven't finished. Facebook was giving me so much trouble. I couldn't get the pictures in the proper order, and then I was having trouble putting captions on. So if you want to see about all the what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, if you want to see all the pictures of the fun. Also, I'm going to do another blog post because Bill, who is my sweeping buddy, where's the milk? I'm making latte. Oh, of course I need a fresh bag of milk. And the kitchen's a disaster, and it's life, right? It's not all fun and games. And so I'm going to do another blog. I'm going to share Bill's video, but if you go to my last blog post that I did, I shared the video of Tom Cavalli and how he won $10,000. It was a great speech, and thankfully he shared it on YouTube, so I was able to share it because one of the kind of rules about the sweepstakes convention is you don't really give away all the tips and tricks that people do. Like when I blog, I'll give away one tip or a general synopsis of what they talked about. But if you want to learn, you got to come. And next year, it's in Las Vegas. And it was in Las Vegas in 2016. Yeah, I live in Canada, so we have bagged milk, if you're wondering what I'm doing. When it was in Las Vegas was 2016. And so once that was announced, it had sold out extremely quickly. Sometimes you can get tickets up to the closing, depending on the year. But that year, it sold out by the fall. And it wasn't until the next summer. So it's going to be... I'm telling everybody, if you want to go to Vegas, you got to buy your tickets right away. I made sure that I registered at the convention for Las Vegas next year because I know the tickets are going to sell out quickly. Basically, what happens at a convention is there's a standard format. It's Thursday to Sunday. Thursday evening, there is a meet and greet. Sometimes like a little bit of a party. Sometimes there's games. There's usually the pick a prize draws there's all different kinds of things that happen. But basically you win stuff and meet new people. Then Friday morning there's speakers and then prizes. And then you have a lunch break and then there's speakers and prizes. And then Friday evening there's usually some optional excursions. Like last year when it was in New Hampshire on the Friday evening, or was it the Saturday evening? I'm pretty sure it was the Friday evening. They had, we went to a Fisher Cats game, which is the farm team for the Toronto Blue Jays. And so that was a lot of fun. And they had, we paid, I think it was like $35 a ticket, and we got dinner and the game. And we sat in a whole section with all the people from the sweepstakes convention. So we were like a rowdy crowd. If you think you're here screaming at a rock concert, you got to come to a convention because when people win prizes, there's a lot of screaming. I have one video on the photo album, and Rochelle goes, "I sound like a dolphin." And I got Mary Ellen standing like, woo! But I should have filmed her because she was just so loud and so happy when she won prizes. So then that's Friday. Then Saturday, they used to do a session with speakers and prizes, a session with speakers and prizes, and then an evening banquet. the cost of food has gone up so high at these conventions that they've now had to switch to either a brunch or a lunch. And so last year in New Hampshire, it was a Sunday morning brunch. And this year in Texas, I called it brunch, but Bill called it lunch. I don't know. It was a meal, a big meal that was delicious. So do we care? Not really. Anyway, so Saturday started late. And so normally sessions start at 9, right? And then like at 2, kind of. And that, where's my big mug? I won this at the convention. I won a state prize, a plaque. You bring things from your state, or in our case, our country. And then for every $5, you get tickets. And then I won one of the state prize packs. How cute is this? I know it's backwards. It says, sunshine is my favorite color. I need a mug, like I need a hole in the head. But I had to keep this one because I've always told my daughter she's my sunshine. This reminds me of her. So cute. So it was full of lots of fun stuff. And then, whoops. It was full of lots of fun stuff. And, like, I got a tea towel, oven mitt, like, all kinds of stuff. And I won a Fitbit, and it was so much fun. If you go to my blog or my photo album, I share the pictures. So then at the convention, they have, so we had a really nice brunch. Then we had the session draws, and then we had the upgrade prize draws. I didn't purchase any upgrade tickets this year because I'm doing some Audible books, and that's where my money's being spent right now. Stay tuned. Helene Hetzel's first book, The Name It and Claim It Game, will be an Audible book by the end of the month. Yay! And I lost a week because you can't record when you sound like a frog. So I have 2 sessions next week. So after this video, I am going to do the audio editing. So now that I have a coffee in hand, I'm going to sit and fold laundry and talk to you guys because that's how my life is right now. I have to multitask and do 14 things at once. So then Saturday evening was free. And then we ended up going... so then Saturday night, so actually I was one of the, this is kind of funny, I was actually one of the pick-up prizes. I was a pick-up prize. So what we did was, there was several people that own newsletters there. So there was Tom Cavalli of I Win Contests, but he did something else. He was busy, and so he didn't come with us. He was busy, and he didn't come with us. So Christy, who owns Sweepsheet, and I were a pick a prize, and some people put in their tickets to win dinner with us. How fun was that? So Saturday night, there's a picture of Maggie. We went to a really nice Italian restaurant, did a little research, and there was a really nice Italian restaurant across the street from the resort because we stayed at the Scottsdale Plaza, and then we took the winners to the restaurant. It was so fun. And then so we had dinner with them. So that was our Saturday night. And then I went and hung out by the pool because it was, I think the coolest day was 107. I think one day it was 115. Welcome to Arizona. And I think that's actually part of the reason I got a little bit of this, because the air conditioning in the hotel was so high that you froze. And then you walked out into the heat and it was like walking into an oven. So it's going from cold to hot, cold to hot. That's not good. So, yeah, the temperature changed too much. Anyway, that was fantastic. That was Saturday night. Then Sunday morning was the final session with some speakers and the thing. But the problem was, because I had been on the cruise and been so busy, I only had one of my presentations ready. So I spoke on Friday about RoboForm. And I taught people how to use RoboForm everywhere. Now, it was a little difficult because I have a 2-hour interactive workshop that I teach 3 times a year. And I took that workshop and I had to turn it into a 20-minute static presentation. A little bit of difficult. Oh, that's funny. Those must be music lyrics. A bottle of red, a bottle of white. The weather was too hot all night. Yeah, we didn't really drink because we're just going so much. The only alcohol I had was a glass of red with dinner on the Saturday night. There's no time to drink. You and I are so busy at this event. And I did my little fairy bundles. If you go and look at I showed people what goes in them. I've done videos on that, and I've done videos on the what I put in the fairy prize packs, and then there's pictures of the fairy prize packs. But I had to get up really early. So here's the thing. Last year was the first year I did it, and it was at the hotel in New Hampshire. Well, the hotel was, a standard hotel where, they had the lobby and the elevator and then the convention hall all in one building. So it was easy for me to go up and down the elevators and around the conference hall and hide these little fairy prize packs before each session. Well, this year, the place is like 40 acres. It's massive. It's building blocks and then only the main lobby area with the conference hall. And it's so hot. I had chocolate in all the prize packs. I can't leave chocolate outside. Plus, there's animals. There's animals everywhere. We saw all kinds of birds. I saw lizards. Who knows what else. So I can't leave the prize packs outside. So I had to get up super early every day, which I also did because it was a 3-hour time difference. And I knew when I got home, if I'm getting up at 6 o'clock every day there, it's like 9 o'clock here. So I didn't want to get too far off my track. So I would go and hide all these fairy prize packs. I had 7 for each session, and then they had to come find me. If they won, they had to come find me and then pick a number out of a bag, and then it corresponded to a prize in another bag I was having. So I had all kinds of Canadian treats. Everything from Kraft peanut butter to coffee crisp chocolate bars and Swedish berries. It was all basically all candy. Cookies. I had maple cookies. I had all kinds of stuff. Plus, I had donated 2 state prizes, which gave me 8 tickets. That's how I won the state prize. Then I donated 4 lucky prizes. See, my daughter I didn't donate. 5 prizes. So I got 5 tickets for the lucky draws. So they put together lucky prize packs. My daughter designed the I'm Lucky shirt. She's 4th year illustration at university this fall, so she should do her mother's logos for free. I'm still waiting for winner chicken dinner. I'll have to bug her about that. And then so I didn't win any lucky prize packs, but I won one of the state ones, which was great because I hadn't won anything. And what was really sweet is the bag that it came in said "You are my sunshine," and like the mug, it was probably put together by the same person that donated the mug, because I donated 2 Canadian bags with my Canadian prize packs. And then I donated a pick a prize of all Canadian treats. Like, I went all out. I had Canadian French's ketchup. I put in cucumber salad dressing, creamy cucumber salad dressing. I put in Kraft dinner. I bought 3 Care Bears. My suitcase, I had to take a second suitcase just for clothes because the one suitcase was all prizes. I had 3 Care Bears that said True North. I had Hostess cupcakes in a flavor called a unicorn, crazy flavor. I had Joe Louis, and then I forgot my Joe Louis hat because it says Joe Louis Moi, which is, I don't know, some kind of French thing. Joe Louis was created by Vachon, which has been a Canadian pastry maker in Canada, in Quebec, for, I don't know, 100 years. Actually, it is 100 years. They have 100 years on all their products right now. And so they're kind of like whoopie pies. I think they're better, but I'm biased, right? And so I gave away those. The only thing I couldn't take, which I wish I could next time if I can drive, butter tarts. I gotta figure a way how to get butter tarts to the convention because they are to die for. The Americans don't know what butter tarts are. I gotta post the recipes for Nanaimo bars. Oh yeah, and I gave away Aero bars that tasted. They have a flavor. Aero bars have a flavor called Nanaimo, which is like Nanaimo bars. I gave away 6 of those. People love them. We have O. Henry's with Reese's peanut butter. The Americans don't have that. I have no idea why. So I gave away a ton of prizes that people were like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." It was so good. And then I also collect Trader Joe bags. Don't ask me how I got on this hobby. I think it started in San Francisco when I was at my aunt and uncle's, and that's where they shopped. They shopped at Trader Joe's, and I got a San Francisco Trader Joe bag, and they were 99¢. And I must have like 50 of them now. Like I have, and I was getting ones like I didn't have Ohio. Somebody brought me Ohio. I had a recycled one that broke, so she brought me another one. I have Washington, D.C. I got the canvas one I didn't have. I got the wine one. I got, let's see, I have San Francisco, Southern California, Kentucky. Um, Texas. Anyway, I collect them. So what I do is every year I go, who wants to bring me a Trader Joe bag from where you are? I'll bring you Canadian chocolate. And so I do that. Oh, yeah. Jill says, um, butter tarts and Nanaimo bars. Must ask raisins, no, but I will take pecans. And I don't know if you know this, but they have around me I don't know when it is. I think it's in June. They have a butter tart trail, and it's like a butter tart festival, but then you have like a booklet, and they send you to all these places. You can drive it in like, I don't know, 3 hours or something, and you can stop at all these places and get butter tarts. And there's all kinds of flavors. Like you can get more butter tarts and stuff. Oh, and Jen says, we don't have a Trader Joe's in our town. I really want to go to one. Yes, they are amazing. Um, yeah. Jen, if you're the Jen I think you are, um, yeah, Jen with two N's. I just turned off the live requests for here because it's getting some spammy ones and I don't want to do that. But so I trade the Trader Joe's, and actually I found I was so happy. I found there was a Trader Joe. This is a good travel tip and a good tip for the conventions because it saves you a ton of money. So when you pay your convention ticket, it only includes one meal, which is the banquet meal, whatever it is, whether it's brunch or lunch or dinner, whatever that is. We did have snacks at the meet and greet, but that's not really a meal. We had tortilla chips and 3 kinds of dip. It's not a meal, it's a snacky thing. So you're on your own, and sometimes the hotels are very expensive for breakfast and whatnot. So what we did was Wendy had ended up, so there's 3 of us. I rented a villa. I thought, blow the budget, got the villa. We're split into 3 ways anyway. This gives us a ton of space, and we had like a kitchenette area. No stove, but we had a fridge, a microwave, a Keurig, and a sink, and some cubbies where we could store all the food. It was perfect. So then Wendy had rented a car, so it was Wendy, Susan, and I. Susan's a Canadian sweeping buddy, so we're the only 2 Canadians there. And she flew from Ottawa to Toronto. We met at the gate, and we flew to Phoenix together. Wendy was coming from New York. She came early. And then she rented a car. She decided not to forget the shuttle, get a car, which turned out to have some really crazy experiences. You have to go on my TikTok or YouTube and find the short. How we got lost looking for Cold Stone Creamery, even though we were following the GPS. And it was so funny. I was laughing so hard that not just my stomach hurt, my shoulders hurt. That's how hard we were laughing. I'm not going to spoil it. You got to go watch the video. So funny. Anyway, so she had rented a car. So there was a Trader Joe's 2-minute drive from the hotel. Yay. So we went and we stocked up on breakfast food, snacks, and drinks like water. You got to keep up your water. One of the nice things at the convention is they always give you something to drink out of. So I got a huge tumbler. They got water bottles, like they had different ones from different companies. And then they always have water in the hotel, but we also wanted some for the room. So we got some big jugs of water. They didn't really have cases like I normally have at home. But anyway, we made sure we had water because it was Arizona. And I like my lattes, so I bought milk to make them in the hotel, that kind of thing. My friend Susan likes eggs in the morning. She was making scrambled eggs in the microwave. So she got her protein. So there's lots of things you can do to save money. I had protein bars. We bought fruit. So we brought, like grapes, we bought yogurt. It's a great way to save money. So we were eating in the hotel room instead of spending the hotel breakfast buffet was like $20 a day. And that's and that's 3 of us. That's a huge amount of money. So much better to go to a grocery store and stock up. When we did the road trip to New Hampshire, since we were driving, we packed all the dry stuff and then we stopped at a grocery store and bought like the fruit and the milk and the yogurt and that stuff there. Saves so much money. So that's one of my best travel tips for the conventions. I've done it every year. When did we? As far back as I can remember, I've been packing food for the conventions just because it makes it easier. So then we went to Trader Joe's. I got my Arizona bag. The next day, we wanted to go to Sedona. It just was not going to work out. It turns out we didn't know Wendy was going to rent a car when we booked the excursion. Had we known she was going to rent the car, we would have just gone to Sedona. But anyway, it's here nor there. We booked an excursion that took us around and showed us some of the desert, and we had like a boat ride, and we went to Tortilla Flats for lunch, and then we were back in time for the meet and greet. I found out, so they took us to this ghost town, which was kind of cheesy and funny. And then we went on this steamboat ride, and then we went to a place called Tortilla Flats, which has 6 inhabitants and a huge restaurant. So everybody commutes in, and the food was great. And then we came back because lunch was so big and so late, then we didn't really need dinner till late that night. So after the meet and greet, we went to In-N-Out Burger. Highly recommend it. So these are kind of the fun and adventure things that you can do when you're at a sweepstakes convention. So it's not just learning different techniques, how to win, or meeting fellow sweepers, or winning prizes. There's a whole nother level to it. And Harriet Brown was there. She's 96. I thought she was a bit older, but she's 96. When I came to my first convention in Moline, Illinois in 2005, and I was completely lost and was doing all the wrong things, she was so nice. She kind of guided me. I guess that was so she would have been in her late 70s at that point. And she's kind of was like, okay, here's how the convention works, and here's what you do. She guided me. And that's the kind of, it sounds counterintuitive. You think, well, if there's all these other people there that win sweepstakes, that I'm not going to win as much. It's actually the opposite is true. It's all boats rise with the tide. Companies spend literally billions of dollars every year running sweepstakes. There's so many prizes to be won. Nobody can win them all. There's not even enough time in the day to enter them all. And so helping other people just makes it better for everybody. And when companies are seeing that their promotions are successful, then they'll be like, oh, this is a great marketing avenue, and they will hold more giveaways. So it's actually a really great way to improve your hobby and make friends. That was the biggest shocker of this hobby for me, was I have made friends for life from this convention, from going to these conventions and meeting fellow sweepers. And 10 years ago, when my life was a little bit in the toilet and I needed to get out of the house for a while, I was going through a divorce, I ended up doing a book tour through 17 states. I held 12 workshops, and I couch surfed the entire trip with fellow sweepers. Everybody kept saying, because I was talking to some of them, and I'm like, okay, my life's in the toilet, what do I do? And they're like, why don't you get out of the house and come stay with us for a while? And then I kept thinking about it, and I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So I couch surfed an entire trip with fellow sweepers who were godsends. Now, where do you find a community like that? Just the best people you ever want to meet. Friendly. We all like to have fun because we enter sweepstakes. Hello. They're always willing to share. They're willing to help.
It's actually, I think, the best part of the hobby, a part that nobody would expect. So that was so Sunday. So what happened Sunday? Steve Dadoff, who, and I did talk about this, I put his picture up on the screen. He has won 306 trips since he started entering 40 years ago. On his last trip, when he was in Italy, and he's a senior, and he fell on the cobblestones, hurt his back, had to have surgery, mess. He's healing, thankfully, but he couldn't travel. So he did a speech called Entering in a Post-Pandemic World via video, which was great. And he held his annual caption contest, which instead of him judging at the event, what they did was they scanned all the entries and emailed them to him. And he judged and picked a winner for Sunday, which was kind of cool. That he still got to participate even though he couldn't be there. And that's the kind of people our community of sweepstakers is. And of course, sadly, as some get older, we had a memorial section in the vendor room where we have the upgrade prize draws and then vendors sending sweepstakes supplies and having raffles. We had a memorial. There was a man called Al Sayward, who I loved. He would host the Michigan Wolverines Sweepstakes Club Spring banquet every April. And it was a one-day event, and it was so much fun. And it was driving distance for us. We would go, and when my daughter was old enough, she started going. Thankfully, she got to go, I think, 2 or 3 times before he passed away. And he was known as the candy man, and he would always have candy draws. One time I actually got it. He had a treasure box full of bags, and I guessed the right amount. I won a printer, which I had until it died, and then I had to go buy another one. Anyway, they always have a memorial for him, and they put a big jar of candy, and you have to guess how many pieces of candy are in the jar, and somebody wins a prize in memory of Al. And what was really touching is Christy from Sweepsheet owns Sweepsheet now because Patty was her best friend, and Patty suddenly passed away in 2020. She had broken her leg, and do you need an operation? Like, it didn't set properly, something happened. They had to operate. She went septic and passed away in 3 weeks. And everyone, the whole community was just shocked. And so Christy last year did a really lovely tribute speech to Patty because, of course, it was during COVID, so there were no conventions. And so last year she did one in New Hampshire, really nice tribute to Patty. And this year there was a picture on Al's contest. There was a picture of him and Patty together. It was so nice. And that's the kind of community we have. And so I highly recommend, if you want to get your feet wet first, join a sweepstakes club in your area. There's some that do it physically now. I have one every approximately 2 weeks in online. I do it online. I call it a virtual contest club meeting. And I started that when the pandemic hit because what happened was I had a little club here. So I first learned about sweepstakes clubs, and I started researching my first book that's how I found out about the conventions. In 2004, I started writing You Can't Win If You Don't Enter. And in that research, I discovered in the United States, they had sweepstakes clubs and conventions. So we ended up booking tickets to the 16th Annual National Sweepstakes Convention. That was in Moline, Illinois. And that's when my husband and I went in 2005. And it was something else, I tell you. And I thought I found my soul tribe. I intuitively knew everybody there. I remember messaging a psychic girlfriend and said, oh my God, I know everybody here. I don't know anybody. Like, I've never met these people, but I know them here. And she said, oh, you've met your soul tribe. I'm like, I totally met my soul tribe. I'm coming every year. My husband was like, and I've done pretty good. I missed a few because 1 year I was moving, 1 year we were bankrupt. Then the pandemic happened, like just things happened. So this year was number 13, I think. And I highly recommend attending. There is a mini in in Memphis, Tennessee this October, but it coincides with George's 60th birthday, so I can't go to that one. Otherwise, I normally would have booked. But we did attend the Tar Heel Mini that was in March. They're hoping to hold it again, so there's nothing on my website about it now because I don't have any details. But if they choose to hold it again, you can better believe I will share the details, and I will be attending. So you can be sure that that one will be there. So I'm hoping the Tar Heel Sweepstakes Club in North Carolina holds their event again, because I did a little TikTok and I did a blog post about it was a one day. So basically you get there in time for coffee. You go out and have your own breakfast. I showed up a little early. They allowed me in early because I was doing a game. I had to bring Canadian treats for everybody. Like, I can't just bring 5 prize packs and not bring treats for everybody. So I did the same game I used to do at Al's one day events. So what I did was so there's about 100 people. So I buy 200 mini chocolate bars and from Canada. So there's all the Canadian chocolate bars that the Americans don't have. So I bring Coffee Crisp and Smarties. What we call Rockets, you call Smarties. And then our Smarties are kind of like M&Ms, but better. That's what I say. And then Smarties, Coffee Crisp, Aero Bar, Wonder Bar, all different ones. And then I number them. I put stickers on them with a number. And then we got in early and we went around to everybody's seat and we put 2 chocolate bars on everybody's seat. And then what I do at the event is I open my phone and I open random.org and I literally say, pick 5 numbers between 1 and 200. And then when it was my turn to give out the 5, I brought 5 prize packs that were big, and I buy all the green shiny bags from the dollar store and I fill them. So they had peanut butter, they had Joe Louis, I put it on chips because we were driving to that one, so I could put in chips. When I flew to Arizona, I was not bringing potato chips. They wouldn't survive. I had all dressed chips in there, ketchup chips, all kinds of things. It was great. So I had all these prizes, and then so then we would call out, and people would look at the mini chocolate bars. We're like, you can eat the chocolate bars, but you better keep the wrapper because it's got a number. And then we called out the name numbers, and then people were like, yay. So they won prize packs from me separate. But I gave everybody a little treat because I can't come down and not share a little bit of love with everybody. What was really funny at that event, and I did talk about it because I did a live stream, I think, the next morning from the hotel because we had time. I did an unboxing of all the prizes we won. George wasn't wearing his reading glasses. And how pick-a-prizes work is they'll have a box or a bag beside the prize with the prize written on the bag or the box, and you get your pick-a-prize tickets and you put them where you want for what you want to win. And so some people put them all in one, some people scatter them about. We scattered them about, put a few more in ones we really wanted, one here. We're like, well, I'll try. Anyway, he wanted this one prize, but he wasn't wearing his reading glasses. He put his ticket in the wrong bag, and he won. We won. Because I said, I thought we discussed that because we won a really nice Coca-Cola jacket. It was too small for him, it's too big for me. And we looked at it and we discussed, like, hey, what do we want to win together, right? We're walking around and we're discussing, I want to win this, I want to win that. So funny. So we win this jacket. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, I think I meant my ticket to go in the one beside. And apparently the bag was chock full of tickets. So he put in one ticket, he won. Well, that's how it works, right? That's how the pick-a-prizes work. Anyway, so at this convention, Tom Cavalli, who owns I Win Contest, did a mystery pick-a-prize. Now, this was brilliant. I have no idea how he did it. He sent a FedEx to the convention, so you could see it was stamped earlier, and it was a mystery pick-a-prize. You didn't know what was in it. It was a FedEx envelope. It wasn't a package. It was an envelope, and you couldn't open it until Saturday. So you'd win it Thursday night. You could not open it till Saturday. Okay. the number of I even put 7 tickets in there. I'm like, I gotta find out what this is. So I can't remember who won it. I know who won it. I'm great with faces. I can't remember her name. So she won it. Well, he did this so he really specializes in teaching people how to master the odds of sweepstakes. Because one of the tricks to winning, I wouldn't call it a trick per se, but it makes sense. The better the odds of winning, the lower the odds, the better you can win. So how it works is concentric circles, right? If you're entering locally and then statewide or provincially and then nationally and then globally, right? You're going to get less people entering here, or if it's a short entry period, or if there's restrictions like you have to make a TikTok, right? Less people, the more barriers to entry there are, the less people that are going to enter. So your chances of winning are higher. It's not rocket science. It's just fact. But what he teaches is how to figure out how good the odds are. So he was giving what we thought was a speech or a story on odds. Well, it turns out it wasn't that. It was a magic trick. And it was brilliant. He had to time it. I have no idea how he did it. He timed it perfectly. He must have practiced. And it was amazing. He should have had a standing ovation for that. And then besides the part of the magic trick that was in the envelope, no spoilers, you have to attend the convention to see all the excitement. There was a $100 bill for the winner. So she won $100 cash and was part of the magic trick, which was really cool. So I thought it was brilliant. So I might do something like that. But I think the dinner, I'm not as talented as Tom in that arena. So I think I might just stick to the dinner with me. Because I did it actually the last time we were in Vegas. And that was fun. But I did it on my own website. But I think it works better when I do it at the event. Like at the convention, and I'm just to pick a prize. So we'll see if anybody else wants to come with me. We'll see who else comes to the convention. So the people that own Sweepstakes Advantage weren't there this year. Maybe they'll come next year. We'll see, and we'll do a dinner. We'll do a dinner out with those people because it is fun. So we might be separate prizes or we might be one prize altogether. So that's what happens at us. Oh yeah. So then Sunday, I forgot to say, so then Steve did his speech and then, and we had some great speeches from winners. Hans gave a great speech on how he won a VIP trip from MGM, rewards, which was amazing. He got to ride in Usher's private jet to the concert. They had champagne. It was like VIP treatment all the way. This is a trip. This is one of the things about sweepstaking that is amazing. You can win prizes that money could, I always say money can't buy, but obviously somebody's paying for it. It's just not in our normal realm of everyday life. When are you going to fly in a private jet and have VIP seats with champagne at an Usher concert and hang out with him? Never. Todd also talked about the first time he won a big trip and they thought it was a scam. They're like, this can't be real. And so he wins this trip and they go on the trip, him and his partner, Ralph. And Todd's a little bit spacey sometimes, and Ralph's the logical one, like me, logical, good with my. So they're on this trip, and they get to this resort, and so when they first get off, there's a person with a name. They take them in the limo to the hotel, and they get out, and they're greeted with champagne, and your room's ready, and their luggage is already whisked off, and Todd's like, oh no, this is not going to be good. They're going to ask for my credit card, and Nope, they got taken to their room, and then they had all these activities, but it was one of those resorts, it wasn't all inclusive. So if you wanted to go snorkeling, it was this much. If you wanted to do this, it was this much. And they were told do whatever. And so they did whatever. So it's like, oh my God, we're doing like half the list. They went and experienced all these things. They were very active. They, all the things you can do, they went swimming down some river. There was a spot of them in the cave with the swimming. It's so fun. He shared a few pictures from that trip, and then they're ready to leave, and he's like, okay, here it comes. And they're handed the bill, and it's itemized, and it showed at the very bottom 0, and it showed that it was like, I don't know, some crazy amount, like $26,000 for the 4 days they were there, for all the food. They had a private chef, there was a maid, there was like a butler, there was like everything. Where could you ever experience something like that? And it was zeroed out. And then they got back to the airport, and they're like, wait, what? That was real? Like, I won all that? Like, that. He was still shocked. He was still thinking, okay. And this is why most people don't enter sweepstakes. They think at some point it's a scam, and they're going to ask me for my credit card, and I'm stuck. Now, I have won trips, many trips. I've won 24 trips. Not as many as some, not as few as others. Generally, when you check into your hotel, they do ask for a credit card to check in. That's just pretty standard. If you don't use, raid the minibar. And a lot of rules exclude those things in it. It says, yeah, we're not covering your minibar or your long distance telephone calls on the landline or whatever. They don't cover that, but the rest is covered, right? So, we give our credit card, and then at the end it's zeroed out. It's never a problem. Or we've extended trips many times where, like the last trip I won just before the pandemic. Actually, no, it was 2 trips ago. Before the pandemic, I extended it. So it was a 4-day, 3-night. And I'm like, no, that means you're traveling on a park day. We went to Universal Studios. So I said, can we make it a 6-day, 5-night trip? And they're like, sure. The dates that I picked, they couldn't keep us at the hotel that was listed in the rules. So they upgraded us to the Schmancy Hotel, but then I couldn't afford the 2 nights in the Schmancy Hotel. So I booked 2 nights in the hotel that was originally outlined in the rules, and we stayed there. And so I had to pay for those 2 nights because that wasn't part of the contest. But I'm like, they've already flown us down, and they've already paid for 3 nights, and they've already given us tickets to Universal, and they've already given us spending money. I mean, I might as well just pay for 2 extra nights and extend the trip and have more fun. I'm already there. And so that's what we did. And then we had, I bought tickets to Disney. So we spent 1 day at Disney. And then we had a travel day at either end. So that worked out really well. And then because they upgraded us, because they couldn't, our room keys became fast passes. So then we had fast passes for the full 3 days while we were there. It was amazing. So we just had to pay for our food at that point because I took the spending money and spent it on the hotel and the Disney tickets. But that was my choice. I could have taken the prize as was and not spent a penny. But I chose to extend it and spend more. So I've been talking about, convention wrap up, a recap, different events, prizes, all kinds of adventures that you can have with this hobby. So Sunday morning, right? You got a little bit off track here. So Sunday morning, we, Tom told about how he won $10,000. So you have to go to my last blog post. I embedded the YouTube video there. It was a local, and he had a 1 in 500 chance of winning. And of course, Tom won. Now, what was interesting is how he did the speech is we didn't know if he won or not. And people were asking, and I go, you know what? Tom holds his cards very close to his chest. He could have lost. I was waiting until the end. Like, I actually didn't know if he won or not until the very end, and he did win. So that was amazing. That's the second time he's won $10,000. And he's won, I think, 85 trips to date. So, but he lives in a different place, and the hobby's a little different for him. He has more opportunities to win than I do. And that actually does make a difference in the hobby, which is kind of crazy, but it does. Um, so he talked about that, but his speech ran so long. Oh yeah, so I was going to talk on TikTok. They wanted me to talk both things. So one, because I had gone cruising and had 100 things to do, I only had one speech ready. So I kind of worked on my speech the whole time while I was there on TikTok. Then they came to me and they're like, you're up next. I'm like, my speech isn't ready. And they're like, well, that's okay. We're running over. We're going to let Jen go. I'm like, okay. Then Sunday, they're like, we're going to put you Sunday. Then Tom's speech ran so long. They're like, yeah, we don't have time for your speech. I'm like, I've already done the speech now. I finally finished it. So lesson learned, I need to have my speeches done in advance in case I go gallivanting again. And actually, I've got them written now. So if I do them again, I have a format and everything to do. But so then I said, well, why don't you say if anybody wants to stay and learn TikTok, I'll do it after the convention's over. And so I did. There was about 40 people that stayed, which was kind of my point about TikTok giveaways. A lot of people aren't interested in learning about TikTok giveaways. And now I will say that one of the reasons they host they end the convention at noon on Sunday is it gives people time to get home, like to go catch a plane and get home, to be at work on Monday morning if they need to be. That's the other reason it's done over weekends, is because if it's done over the weekend, you can, and it starts at in the evening on Thursday, depending on your job, you can fly in Thursday morning, right? Travel during the day, get there, be there Thursday night, do Thursday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave Sunday, be home Monday. So you're only taking 2 days off work. That's one of the reasons they do it that way, is that you don't have to take as much time off work if you don't have to. But a lot of times the hotel will give you the convention hotel rate before and after the convention so that you can come and spend more time. And some people even bring their families. Like one year, when it was in Orlando in 2014, a lot of people brought their whole family and stayed at the resort, which was really nice. But then they also took advantage of the fact they were already there and went to Disney and Universal and all that, as we were already in Orlando. So that's another advantage of the hobby. So that's how that works. Anyway, I stayed and did my little speech on TikTok, and then I officially closed the convention. I said, that's a wrap. See you in Vegas. So I already bought my tickets because I knew it was going to sell out. And I am not missing Vegas, because Vegas last time was so fun. And Vegas was even hotter than Phoenix, and it was so dry. And and by the way, it's in August 1st to 4th. It's hot season in Vegas, which is one of the reasons we get a good deal for the convention, because not as many people are going in the hot summer as they are at other times of the year. It was so dry that my hair, we stayed a whole week. By the end of the week, my hair was straw. So I said, this time I'm bringing coconut oil and a turban, one of those towely turbans they sell for ladies. And I'm putting coconut oil every night on my hair, because I was just using conditioner like it was going out of style, and it wasn't enough to curb the. So every night, coconut oil and a turban when I sleep in Vegas, because it's too much. Like too much. It was so dry. So yeah, I think that's it. And then in Vegas, we're going to be at the Horseshoe, which is beside, it used to be, I think, Bali. It's beside the Paris Hotel. Last time it was there, it was something called the Tuscan Inn, I think. And it was okay, but it was off strip and it was quite a walk. And I think this is going to be a little bit better. But what we did, because there's like no grocery stores and stuff, I had brought all the dry goods to eat in our room, like the granola bars and stuff. And then what we did was we just went to a convenience store and got milk and water and things. And it worked out fine. So if you've never been to a convention, I'm going to see if I can find one of the old speeches. There was a speech done by someone in 2010, and I think I have the CDs, or I might not. If I have the CDs, I'm going to see if I can get permission to repost it on YouTube, just that one clip, because it had to be the funniest speech I'd ever seen. But I have a feeling that was one of the years we were kind of going bankrupt, and I don't think I had the money for the DVDs. They used to be filmed. There used to be two guys. One would film, and one would commentary and interview people and stuff. And they stopped doing it. And so we don't have records of the conventions anymore. And now that technology's moved so much forward, they just ask that you don't share people's speeches if you go live. So I was filming people speaking, but what I did was it was just short clips to just like show, kind of what was going on. And then on those ones, I did a voiceover. Rona, oh my gosh. Oh, Melissa says, Rona, I ate so many sandwiches from CVS when we were at the Las Vegas convention. Oh my God, that's so funny. I didn't even think of that. But when we're in Vegas, you know where I want to go have the dinner I'm going to give away? We found this restaurant. I think it was called Batista's. Don't 100% quote me. I had interviewed Pinsky, and he's the betting specialist on With the Contest Queen. And then one of his dreams was to go to Vegas for the entire football season. And so they did. Like, he sold all his furniture in his apartment, gave up his condo, or sublet it, something. Then they moved to Vegas for months. And then they had to leave the country and come back. And they even got permission to stay through Super Bowl, which was kind of exciting. Anyway, I told him to go to this restaurant. I said, if you're in Vegas, you have to go here. And it's in a weird location, but it's amazing. The whole meal everything's included. You get the wine, you get the appetizer, you get the dinner, you get dessert. Everything's included. Coffee, tea, like the whole thing, everything. I forgot the wine was included even. The food was so good. When we were there, we ate there twice. I want to take my winner there. It was so good. Like, it was, he even gave me a shout out when they did a TikTok. They're like, thanks to the Contest Queen for telling us about this. Because, yeah, unless you know it's there, you never think or find it. But it's from old Vegas. And so they have pictures of like people, famous people there and everything. And actually, when I had been there last time, I roomed with Wendy. This is the nice thing about sweepstakes buddies. You travel together. That's how I ended up on the cruise. Which I'll talk about in a minute. But that's like, I met her in 2008, and then I kind of just knew her. And then when I was going through my divorce and I was going on that book tour and doing all the workshops, I needed places to stay. So I was kind of mapping out my trip. I basically drove to Florida and back, took a month. And I needed places to stay. So I was saying, hey, here, hey, there. And Wendy said, well, when you're in New York, come stay with me. So I remember pulling up to her place at 6 o'clock. She'd already ordered pizza. It was New York pizza. Oh my God, so good. We sat down at 6 o'clock, started talking. We looked up, it was midnight. We had just, then we've been friends ever since. And then we started going to conventions together. So we roomed together in Orlando, Boston, Vegas, 2 New York conventions, or was it 3? I went and visited a number of times too. And then she took me to her sweepstakes club a couple times. I attended I can't even remember the name of the club, the Big Apple Sweepers, I think. So I went to the Big Apple Sweepers meetings, and then we were rooming at this convention, but that's how I ended up on the cruise, because she's a cruiser, and her boyfriend. So this is a really cool story. I also like to teach law of attraction and how you have to think positive. You have to think like a winner and be a winner before you are a winner, that kind of thing. You can't, and even Helene Hatzel writes in her book, you can't be doom and gloom and expect to win. That's just not how life works. So I've been doing the Audible book and reading the book out loud, which I find very interesting because I hear new things. And I'm starting to tell people, if you like any inspirational, metaphysical, new age thought books, anything like that, start reading them out loud to yourself. Or if you read it once and then read it again, read it out loud, you're going to hear different things. I have edited this book a gazillion times because I keep finding, spelling mistakes or something's out of whack, or anyway. I've read this book a gazillion times. I've even done, line edits. But I've never read it out loud. So now I'm reading it out loud. And on the Wednesday, I read one of the chapters that was in the Maneuvers for Wishcraft chapter about a woman who wanted a cruise to the Bahamas. And she said to Helene, I don't enter a contest, and it's not in the family budget. My husband's not interested in going. How do I get this cruise? I really want to go. I've heard cruises are amazing. And Helene's like, don't worry about the contest. Just focus on the end result. Just go about your day. Don't worry about how. She's like, all right. So she's focusing on, I'm going on this cruise. And she's taking art class. And one of the ladies she's taking art with is a cosmetic salesperson, and they were having a contest, and the person that won sold the most, won a trip to the Bahamas. And she had sold the most for her region, so she was going. I'm going to guess it was like Mary Kay back in the day. But she doesn't say which brand. Anyway, 2 days before this woman's supposed to go on this cruise, her son has appendicitis, needs surgery, she can't go. She calls up this woman and says, hey, this is paid for. It's going to be wasted if I don't go. Do you want my ticket? The woman's like, yeah. And it was a single ticket. So off she went to the Bahamas. So I read that chapter out on a Wednesday. And I've heard that you can speak your desires into existence. Back in my mind, I've always wanted to go on a cruise. Even though I know they're not environmentally friendly. It's still like a bucket list item. Saturday, then Thursday, I start going. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, I'm helping Silva Canada, Stephen Dobos, who's head of Silva Canada, with a weekend intensive. I'm assisting. I'm one of the, 8 volunteers for the event. Helene was Jose Silva's assistant. So now here I'm mirroring her life, right? And you're doing a lot of meditating and reprogramming your subconscious mind during these workshops. And I was in charge of all the refreshments, making sure everybody was good. So then I turn around and that was the Saturday. So the third day of the event, I get, oh, thank you, Rosa. I get a text from Wendy, and she says, hey, can you go on a cruise? So I rested your back. I'm like, hey, it's not in the budget. I'm doing this Audible book, And she said, no, Mike broke his leg, her boyfriend. Mike broke his leg, and that was like months ago, but he'd taken so much time off work that he couldn't take the time off for this cruise. So he's good now, thankfully, and it wasn't that bad. It sounds bad, but he tipped his motorcycle, and anyway, he couldn't go. And she said, the ticket's already paid for. Sound familiar? You just have to get yourself to Miami. I'm like, I will find a way to get myself to Miami. So I literally manifested a free cruise. Oh yeah, and then I did a video. Because it went to Miami. It was a Virgin cruise. It went to Miami. Then it went to Dominican Republic and Puerto Plata. And then it went to Bimini. Where's Bimini? The Bahamas. What? So I'm doing a video and I'm just showing behind me. I'm like, this? I literally spoke it out. I'm like, this is crazy. So I think there's a lot to the hobby. I think it's up here and it's physical. You have to enter. But I think that's actually one of the reasons Tom Cavalli wins a lot is he literally lives in the vibration of winning. And he says he doesn't believe any of this stuff. He thinks it's bunk. And then I watch him do it. And I just chuckle to myself because I think he's just like Helene Hansel. He just lives in that energy. And he just wins. And I think that's why he won the $10,000, because he lives in even though he was nervous and he kept thinking, I don't know, he just lives in winning so much that that's his natural default, even if his brain goes off to left field. And everybody else there has doubt. They're like, there's no way I'm going to win 10 grand. Even the people that got to the end. Like one guy disqualified himself by not following the rules. And so he just naturally lives in the vibration of winning. It's just the way it is. It's really neat to watch him win stuff. I shouldn't talk so much. I should start folding a bit more laundry. It's never gonna get done. The vibration, right? Melissa, you can attest. That's the other reason. Melissa was at the convention. Actually, I should bring her on live. I don't know if she wants to do that. Just say yes if you want to go live with me. Oh my God. Anyway, Melissa was at the convention. Lol? Is that a yes or a no? Anyway, she was at the convention, and she can attest that the people that go to these events, they do tend to live in the vibration of winning. Like some haven't won as much as others, but there's something about the energy. I don't even know how to explain it, but you can feel it when you're there. And I remember one year when it was in Atlanta. I think were you in Atlanta, Melissa? We were giving away the big prizes, all the upgrade prizes. There was so much screaming in the conference hall that hotel staff came and stood at the back of the room to see what was going on, because we were like crazy people. They were giving out prizes and people were like, yeah! And the whole place was just screaming and yelling. It was crazy. And they had to come and look. And all the hotel staff, I remember, I think I took a picture. And the whole back of the room was ringed with staff just watching this insane group of people cheering. Because they didn't understand why we were cheering so much. Laugh out loud. I've lost my voice at the present moment. Yes, I was in Atlanta. Yeah, it was wild, right? Oh, yeah. You probably lost your voice because you were screaming so much at the convention. Or you're like me. You got home and were a little bit under the weather because you had way too much fun. Atlanta was crazy. And the screaming, it's something else. Anyway, the energy of the room, that's why when I attended in 2005, my first convention, I just felt the energy of the place and the people. And I'm like, I'm coming every year. Like, these are my peeps. And yeah, you know what? There are a few negative millies. Like the first time I went, the next year, so after 2005 in Moline, it did go to Phoenix, and it was held at another resort. It was at the Fairmont Princess, which I have to admit I thought was a little bit better than the Scottsdale resort. The Scottsdale felt a little dated. How do you find out about conventions? If you go to my website at contestqueen.com, under meet, go to resources. I'm going to be, by the way, after I finish my Words for Winning website and get a few other projects under my belt, I am revamping contestqueen.com, because some of the resources, which the layout made sense when we did it. Stephanie from Georgia. Wasn't she the one that won the prize for Tom? Won Tom's mystery prize? I couldn't remember her name. I could picture her in my mind. Yes, Stephanie, that's her name. I'm so good at picturing people, their names. Okay, now I will never forget her name. It's Stephanie. Oh my God, she was amazing. She was winning so much. Yeah, some people do vibe higher than others. And that's just how it is. But so anyway, sorry. If you want to go find out about the conventions, yeah, she won the entire convention. Well, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but she won way more than most people. She won more than me, that's for sure. I didn't win much, but I also don't go just for the prizes. I go for just the people and the fun and the adventure and to help out. And I got a really nice gift basket from the convention for helping out and speaking and promoting it and all that stuff. So that was really nice. I wasn't expecting that, actually. And then I had a slate. They gave us a slate board, like a cheese board of Arizona made out of slate. I'm like, how am I going to get this home? It was all wrapped up. And then Robert Hoffman, who was in High Stakes Sweepers with me, he said, oh, you should put it in cardboard. I'm like, oh my God. So I went and got one of the broken down boxes from the convention, and I cut it and I put it between cardboard, and I squashed it in my suitcase in between things, and it made it home in one piece. Yay. Anyway, oh, she wanted each session. Yeah. See, I didn't, but that's okay. Anyway, go to contestqueen.com, and if you click on resources and meet fellow sweepers, I just updated the convention list for what we know. So there's one in Memphis in October. There's one in Las Vegas next August. We're waiting to hear if the Tar Heel Sweepstakes Club is doing another event in March. I have no confirmation. And I don't know if Memphis will repeat next year. Someone will probably tell me. I think Tom's going. He'll let me know because I can't go. And then next, the following year, 2025, I can't remember the name of Shauna's club. Shauna's the volunteer host. And by the way, all of these conventions, this isn't a corporation running them. It's completely volunteer run by various sweepstakes clubs. Completely volunteer run. So Shauna's group, which I can't remember the name of her club, are looking to hold 2025 in either Arkansas or Texas. Now, she lives in Arkansas, so it's kind of near the Texas-Arkansas border. Maybe it'll even be in Texarkana. Who knows? So they're investigating where to hold it, get prices, so it's going to be in that region. That one, I think I would drive to because I would like to go visit Dyke Hadsel again. And that would be a 2-day drive, and then he's another day's drive. So I would make it like maybe a 2-week thing. Drive down to convention. And then if they do vendor tables, so Vegas won't have any vendor room, but maybe Texarkana will. And if they do, then when you have a vendor table, you can't just have raffles, you have to sell stuff. I would sell Canadian treats. I would make a table of like peanut butter and maple cookies and everything. Take pre-orders from people, have an entire car full of food, which would be kind of funny. So yeah, that's what I would do. I'd make money doing that. Yeah, she wanted, yeah, okay, so I got that comment. Yeah, so the conventions are really fun, and I just, so that's what's there now. And there used to be more minis, but the people that used to run them have either passed or they're just not, because it's a lot of work. And the clubs aren't, yeah, Canadian treats would be perfect, right? I would make a fortune. But I'd have to charge quite a bit because like peanut butter cost me $7 now. The price has gone up through the roof. And that's the Walmart price. Like a jar of the Kraft peanut butter. So I don't know if I would charge like just double it, like $12 for peanut butter and stuff like that. Because if I'm driving it down, I have to also include the cost of my time and gas to get it there, not just the price of the item, right? I got to cover all my expenses. So I'd have to think about that. Anyway, I'll see what happens. That's one of those ideas you throw out into the universe, and if it sticks, it works, and if it doesn't, oh, good morning, Nicole. And there we go. Yeah, this is multitasking mama here. Talking sweepstakes, folding laundry, letting her coffee go cold. Yeah, fun stuff. So actually, one of the things I have right behind me, this is a good tip for people. So on my little Chromebook, notice my prize magnet, sticker. So I have this little Chromebook, but George bought me that little table for Christmas, and it has like a bumper on the front so the laptop doesn't slide. Because I was using like a regular like tray, and it would always slide off. And so he bought me that at Christmas. It's so good. And if my laptop gets hot, it even has a plug with a fan, but I don't use it because it's a Chromebook. It doesn't need it. But that's what I do. We will sit and watch a movie, and I sit there with my cup of tea or whatever, and we'll watch a movie, and I'll enter sweepstakes on my Chromebook. And it's so nice. And in the winter, I'll put a blanket on and snuggle up and just enter my sweepstakes. And so that's really one of the advantages of having portable technology. Plus, that's the laptop I use when I travel. I don't take my good one, my big one that I write all my books on and stuff, because I don't want anything to happen to that. Oh, and look at this. This is a t-shirt I took. If you go look at my pictures, so my friend Bill he's bought some of my shirts. He has I Am Lucky in green because they have a nice green for men. And then he has a prize magnet shirt, which 3 of us wore one time last year. I have a picture of Susan and Bill and I all dressed the same. It's so cute. But his big thing is Captain Billy J, because he travels and he has a travel channel, and he vlogs all of his travels. I'm going to do a blog post and share his video on the recap of the convention. It was so fun. Anyway, he came in on the Saturday with his Captain Billy J uniform on, because you have to wear something you won, and he won Captain Crunch socks, so he wears Captain Crunch socks. And I'm like, oh my God. So I left the convention, went back to the room, because I brought this shirt. And I think it's so funny this face is on it, because he sported me, I sport him. So then we got a picture this year of him and I together. I just love it. And then I was kicking myself because I'm like, oh, I had an opportunity to wear this on the cruise and I didn't take it. So, yeah, funny. Nicole wants to know if I've won anything big lately. No, I haven't. And I'll tell you why, because I'm barely entering right now. So I am working on the Audible book for Helene. I was starting to get a bit ahead, and I'm working on a new website, which is, I got it launched because I passed 1,000 followers on TikTok on my other channel, and I didn't want to have a dead link. So we launched Words for Winning, but it's really a skeleton site right now. So there's a lot of other pages that have to be added and updated. So there's books missing. There's the main books, but I have vintage books that I'm adding. I have audiobooks that I'm adding. There's all kinds of, not audiobooks, audio programs. So there's me. So I'm going to have books on there for me, Helene Hadsel, Tag Powell, and Judith Powell. Those are the 4 authors on the site. It's going to grow from there, but that's the base. That's the starting base. So I'm missing a ton of stuff, but I just wanted to get it live so that if people went to the link, it wasn't dead. I've got the YouTube channel going, and I've got the TikTok going. Instagram, I don't know. I got to do something with that, and I got to do something with Facebook. So I'm figuring that out. So I'm working on that. Then I've got to work on Money and You as a print. So basically, then I went on this cruise. Then I went to the convention. Then I was off for basically a week. I didn't do much. I just got the blogs out and stuff. I lost audio time. I didn't go to the producers. I'm going tomorrow. So then so basically before December 31st, I need to have 5 books finished. 3 audio, 2 print. So I haven't been entering. I do enter some sweepstakes every day, maybe a handful, but I have not been entering the way I should. Now, it's really funny, or I shouldn't say should, the way I would like to manage my hobby. I'm not entering at the level I would like because I just don't have the time. What's really interesting is how quickly you can win. One giveaway, we Yeah, right? 5 books. I'm crazy. But there's going to be tag teaming. So what I'm doing, I'll go back to my point. What I'm doing is I'm going to finish the Helene Hatzel Audible book, the first one, The Name It, Claim It Game. It'll be out by July 31st. At the same time, I'm going to be starting Money and You, the print book. As soon as I finish that print book, so I paid one of my author friends. She needed the money, I needed the time. So she did. So what I got her to do was 1, digitize the book, and then 2, put it into the book format that I have. So now all I have to do is go in and edit. So that can get a book out faster. So then as soon as I can get Money and You published, because it's written by Tag Powell, I don't think I should do the Audible. I think it would sound funny spoken by a woman. So I have found a narrator that lives a couple of towns over. The producer knows him, sent him a sample of Tag's work, because we have Tag on audio, and says, could you embody this gentleman? And the guy's like, absolutely. He let me hear a sample of his work. The guy's brilliant. So I'm like, great. So his name's Andrew. Andrew is going to narrate all of Tag's books. So what's going to happen is the faster I can get Money and You out, Andrew can start narrating Money and You while I start narrating In Contact with Other Realms. And then I'm finishing Prizes Everywhere before December 31st because this book got sidetracked. I was going great guns and the pandemic came, and then I started Helene stuff and it just sat, and I'm like, no, I am done. It will be out by the end of the year. So I'm going to have The Name It and Claim It Game Audible, In Contact with Other Realms Audible, Money and You Audible, Money and You print, Prizes Everywhere print. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, back to why I haven't won, because I've been a little busy. And you really need to enter an hour to 2 hours every day. Tom Cavalli enters about an hour and a half every day, and he wins huge. So it's consistency. Part of it is consistency, absolute consistency. So I was writing the RoboForm speech, and my RoboForm, because I haven't been entering, is dismal right now. Like, I usually have a list of things that I'm entering because I use RoboForm to manage my sweepstakes. And there's a lot of reasons for that. You have to attend I'm not going to go into it here. It's a whole class. So I use RoboForm to manage my sweepstakes. Then I was doing that, and I'm like, I need to be entering some stuff to show people examples and screenshots and stuff. So I started spending some time one day entering just to get some things for the presentation. I entered a bunch of sweepstakes that morning, and that afternoon George got a notification that he won from something I entered that morning. Boom. And so you can win pretty quick. I was surprised, actually. I was like, whoa, that was fast. I wasn't expecting to win that quickly. But yeah, you can. So even not entering a lot because I'm like, oh wait, busy. Your prizes can come in pretty quick. And that was a lottery gift card. So we end up playing the lottery. So you're asking me if we've won anything huge lately? Who knows? We might win the lottery. Because you can't win if you don't enter. There's a reason that's the book title, right? So yeah, it's kind of funny. So let's see. I think I've covered everything from the convention. Yeah, just go if you want to read details and see all the pictures and stuff and the links to the conventions. That's all. Also, if you go to contestqueen.com and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you will see all the blog posts. I feature the last few on my website, and so you can easily find them. Or if you just click CQ blog at the top, or blogs at the top, or whatever the heck it says, it'll show you the list. And also today, if you want to win something from me, how's this? I give away a Contest Queen one-on-one every month, and today's the last day to enter for July. So you can still be in Twin. So if you want to learn, go enter that giveaway, and maybe you'll win it. maybe I'll see you and help you out, right? So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And I think I'm going to wrap it up because I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice here, and I'm almost finished the laundry. So what a good multitasking job. And then maybe I will also try doing this on my new Words for Winning channel, because I just passed 1,000 followers on TikTok. So yeah, I've got a bunch of different videos. So if you want to learn how to win sweepstakes contests and giveaways, keep following me here at Contest Queen. And if you want to learn a winning mindset, not just for sweepstakes, but life, that's what I'm doing over at Words for Winning. And I have a whole channel. So far we have a skeleton website, a terrible Instagram and Facebook, a pretty good YouTube, and a pretty good TikTok. So that's what I've got so far. And we're getting there. We're getting there. That's how it is, one step at a time, right? And okay, good to catch you on. Yes, it was good to have you here too. It's fun. I haven't done it. If you've noticed, if you go back to my Contest Queen TikTok, you notice I didn't post anything for a while. So I thought, you know what? I finally feel better. I love talking about the convention because it was so fun. And it's great because George he's like, yeah, that's your thing. See ya. And he just lets me go off and do my crazy little thing with all my sweepy friends. And he's like, yeah, you go, have fun. See you later. He did attend the Tar Heel event with me. I did mention that he was there because we were going to Florida. That was when I was going to purchase the rights to all of Tag Powell's work. And so he drove. So he did come to the Tar Heel event. But he was kind of tired in the afternoon. Actually, I was getting kind of tired in the afternoon too, because we had driven 12 hours the day before, so we were a little bit tired. But anyway, that's all for now. I will be back. I'm going to try and now map out a regular live schedule now that I've gotten past all this traveling and crazy. I want to map out a regular live schedule for TikTok and for YouTube and get guests on both channels. And so that's what I'm going to be working on. And I want to start booking people out so that you can see me live. And I'll start announcing the live because I think that's a little bit better. But I just haven't had the bandwidth. So I thought, you know what, we're just going to do a pop-up and we'll see what comes up. But yeah, if you have any sweepstakes questions, either send them to questions@contestqueen.com or leave a comment on any video and I'll answer it. Because, yeah, I'm so biased, but I think sweepstakes is the best hobby in the whole world. What's not to love? Who doesn't like to win? So, bye for now from the Contest Queen, and I will see you next time. And I'll figure out when that is. Okay, it doesn't want to end.